we're gonna be making some mac and cheese and some sparkling lavender lemonade. This is gonna be what I bring in with me for Thanksgiving. So you know this is gonna be some top quality, top tier, top of the barrel creme de la creme deliciousness. All right, this isn't gonna be some steak that you make in a hotel room with a clothing iron. You know?
How's the steak coming along? It's done. All right, now all that's left.
I use cavatappi noodles. Now cavatappi is very cool. Give me a second. Because of the shape. It has a longer spiral, and also you can't tell super well, but it has some grooves to it. Those grooves help it latch onto the cheese, and in my opinion makes it a much more satisfying experience. Other things I'm gonna be using for the cheeses, I have a smoked Gouda here. It's gonna add a nice, oh, so good, dude. It's gonna add a nice smoky flavor to our mac and cheese. It's gonna add a lot of depth. We also have some extra sharp cheddar. That's gonna add that little bit of like tartness, that zing, that zang, that like, you know, that mac and cheese has. I have a more of a New York State yellow cheddar. This is like a medium cheddar, so it'll keep like that color, that nice yellow mac and cheese color, without it being super like in your face, kicking your ass. And then around here, I'm gonna show you this. You shouldn't do this, but it is very convenient. I have pre-shredded low moisture part skim mozzarella. You shouldn't do pre-shredded because let me see if they even include it on the ingredients here. Okay, right here. They use potato starch. Potato starch is used so that the pre-shredded cheese here, let me show you. And you'll see it when we shred the actual cheese. See, I pull this out of the bag, right? And notice how these all fall individually. If you get really in there, you'll see I have some like residue left on my fingertips. That's potato starch. It keeps it from sticking together in the bag. We're also gonna be using, boom, regular salted butter. You can use unsalted if you don't, you know, if you wanna have a little bit of a less salty, if you want some more control over your sodium, go for it. And then we're gonna use some flour. And you're just gonna put it up to max heat. We want that to come up to a boil as quickly as possible. And we're gonna add a little bit of salt. We're gonna add a little bit of salt. A little bit means a lot. It's pasta water. So you wanna make sure your pasta is well seasoned. And while that's coming up to the boil, let me tell you something. The key to a good mac and cheese is not the cheese. It isn't the type of noodle, the stuff I've already showed you. It's in the seasoning. The flavor of cheddar is really good. The flavor of mozzarella is really good. Smoked Gouda, it's really good. But you can make this with whatever cheese you want. The important thing is that when you make it, you season the sauce. The sauce is where all the flavor is. I am gonna use onion powder, salt, black pepper, and I was going to use garlic powder, but it turns out I ran out. So we're gonna go a little crazy today, and we're gonna actually incorporate garlic, fresh garlic, into our roux. We got another thing to make, which is the simple syrup for the lavender sparkling lemonade. I told you a little earlier that my lemonade is gonna be a little bit different. That's because I basically make it in concentrated parts. I have this syrup here. I've never used this before, so I'm very interested in it. This is a lavender syrup. I picked it up from a coffee shop the other day, and it seems to me, give me a second here, it looks like it's already pre-sweetened, so we won't need to make too much. We won't need to make too much simple syrup, but we should keep it in mind. Mrs. BB, oh, she's jumping on the keyboard. Little lady, thank you for all of your help, but we don't need you right now. This is my little sous chef, B. She's happy to be joining us here today. She likes all of you. Say hello, B. Isn't she a cutie? So here's what it looks like. Very, very simple. The pan looks a little gross, but legit, it's just sugar and it's equal parts sugar and water. I'm gonna put that on the stove. I'm gonna crank that up to just below a medium, right? Because we want it to dissolve, but we don't want it to boil. And done. Simple syrup, finished, ready to go. We can make our lemonade right now if we wanted to, but we're gonna wait. The water has just come to a boil for the macaroni. Again, I'm using cavatappi. I'm only gonna put in half a pound. The pasta's done. I don't make less than 5 cheese, but that's just me. Hey man, different strokes for different folks. And as much as I'd like to get your strokes, man, I'm just not that guy. I'm gonna use the 2-bowl solution. If you've never used the 2-bowl solution, you take 1 bowl, you press the lip of it against so that nothing falls out, and then you just strain the water out. This is not ghetto. I'm sure they do this in many kitchens around the world. It just happens to be used in my kitchen today. But that's for the most part fine. Now, it's cool if there's a little bit of water left over on the noodles because it helps to, wow, look at it. It smells like fucking nothing because it's just noodles and water and salt. But looks good, and that's a lot of macaroni. It should be enough for 2 to 3 people, just as a nice little snack. I actually did reserve a little bit of the pasta water there. I ran out of Cooking Mama music. We're gonna restart it. We are gonna be reusing a little bit of the pasta water. It's in there. So if you got this on and you fucking hate dealing with the skin, what you want to do is take the garlic, put it down on the thing, on the counter, whatever. With this, the strong meatier part of your hand, just press straight down on it until you hear that little crackle. What that does is it breaks it underneath. It makes it really easy to just peel the garlic. So they should all just come right off in one large piece. And then you have a perfectly clean piece of garlic to do whatever you want with. All right, so I have it all sliced up right here in front of you. You probably can't see it too well, but this is the look. Individually sliced little garlics. Now, if you want to dice this, I don't really care to do it for this. It's not really important, but I'm gonna take a pinch of salt and I'm gonna apply it directly over all of the garlic. Let it sit for like a second. This draws the oils out of the garlic and it makes it really, really easy to just dice them up and it'll stick together. It's really, really nice. It's a very convenient thing. So I'm gonna reheat the pot here that I've got for the roux. I'm gonna put it at a medium low. And because we're making a small amount, we don't need to use a full tablespoon of butter. We can get away with a teaspoon. So, or maybe like half a tablespoon. Don't go crazy. When you make roux, you would be surprised at how much it thickens the shit out of your macaroni or out of your bechamel. So, don't go too crazy with it. Because we're gonna make a garlic roux or a garlic bechamel, it's important that we put in the garlic with the butter. Let that cook down a little bit. Let it, get that raw garlic flavor out and make it actually taste good. I'm gonna go for half a tablespoon of this. It says half a tablespoon, it's not that much. I'm gonna drop it in there. Again, between medium and low, closer to low is better. There you go. Closer to low is better because you don't want to brown your butter. You can brown your butter, but I don't really feel a need to. It adds a little bit of a nuttier flavor to it, which is nice, but not what I'm looking for this mac and cheese. And then I'm gonna grab my tablespoon-ish of flour. I actually have it right here. The important thing is when you're measuring, this is one of the only things I do measure, is the roux. Roux is important because if you don't add a good proportion of, butter to flour, it will break and it won't be good. So this is the only thing I really measure. And even then, it's very, very up in the air as to how much you'll need. So once you start to see the garlic get a little bit golden, a little bit crispy, that is the perfect time to take this and then drop your flour right in. Here I'm just using a little 2% and then a heavy whipping cream. If you're not in America, it might just be called whipping cream or double cream, depending on where you live. So just keep that in mind. All right, I'm not measuring the amount of milk because it doesn't matter. We've already made the roux, but make sure you add it cold. Adding it cold is very important. This is the coolest part in my opinion. I go heavy cream first because roux, it's very strange. The more liquid you add to it, it becomes a gummy paste, and then slowly over time it becomes a cream sauce. So I'm gonna add just a little bit, just a touch, enough to cover the bottom of the pan. And I'm gonna whisk it in again. But we're gonna start adding our regular milk now. Again, our roux looks, or not even our roux, our bechamel kind of has like the texture of melted white chocolate. So again, just a little bit, a couple tablespoons at a time, nothing crazy. So I'm gonna take my first little handful here. It's still a little damp, that's fine, and just pour it right in. We don't want to go all of the cheese in at once because it won't melt properly, and again, you might break your sauce. Bechamel, ouch. Another handful of cheese. Now, again, I'm telling you guys, I don't measure things, all right? This is important to me. This is not just an I'm lazy thing, this is a philosophical thing for me. I am of the firm belief that anybody can cook, genuinely, actually believe that anybody can cook, and a lot of people get in their heads about it. If you are somebody who wants to eat a good meal, you should be able to just go in the kitchen and vibe, have a good time, put on some music, and just enjoy yourself. Check this out. This is, I think, about as much mozzarella as I'm gonna add. It is taking forever to drip off. This thing is maximum viscosity. You see this? Get your hand grater. Get a bowl that's clean enough, because this is the bowl that we use for our mozzarella. It's just a little wet. It's no big deal. And then just fucking... Look at this. You can see my whole setup here. It's a mess. Who cares? It's going to be good. And then just shred cheese. Now look. You saw what it looked like before, right? It looked really, really good the way it was. And now I added in a little bit more cheddar. Just another pinch. Just another big pinch. And it's more velvety already. It isn't sticking to the whisk as much. It's still very stringy and very good. At this point, I could probably add a little bit more cheddar to reach the perfect consistency. But instead, I'm gonna add in the seasonings at this stage. To start, pinch of salt. Just one pinch, nothing crazy. Just under a teaspoon of onion powder, bonk. And then for our smoked paprika, same deal, just under a teaspoon. Smoked paprika has a very strong flavor if you're not familiar with it. So start a little slower if you want. Only do like a little bit less than half a teaspoon. Then reserve the rest on the side, and then once you whisk it in, you'll see whether or not you rock with it. So whisk your spices in. Go slowly, or else the dog that's standing under you will die. Being dropped molten cheese. And look at that. By just giving it a little bit more time to sit, it is already way looser. Close the cabinet. When I'm done, I'm gonna add in my freshly ground black pepper because I like the stuff. I like the little flecks, you know, the little flakes being visible when I'm eating it. It feels very like rustic and delicious and cool. I think it adds to the experience. There's a little bit of pasta water still on these noodles. So I'm gonna do is I'm legit just gonna fucking pour that right over these noodles. You wanna fold it in, not with a whisk, with a spatula, because it makes it easier. And we care about making our lives just a little bit easier. Now, the good thing about this is, number one, it's gonna be tasty and delicious, obviously. But number two, it's ready. Like, you're good. You can just eat this now. Come here. Chad has to see you eat this. It is spiced.
That's what good. The smokiness is really good.
Yeah, right?
It's like really, really good.
Right?
Yeah.
No measurements.
Yeah.
It broke a little bit.
Yeah, you can tell that the sauce is like a little bit broken, but like honestly, it's fine.
Yeah. It's no biggie. Right? The
Yeah.
temperature, if it was baked, would
For my taste, I put a little bit of cayenne.
A little cayenne?
Yeah, a little
Yeah, we
cayenne.
like it spicier.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is if I use chipotle powder, it'd be perfect.
Yeah.
But I use smoked paprika this time. Alright, that's enough. Yeah, I'm gonna make lemonade. Lemonade's really easy. Here it is. 1 lemon per cup. We're gonna just try it with the lavender syrup on its own. Lemon juicers, dude, are the shit. They're awesome. And I'll tell you why. Because they keep your seeds out. So you put it down flat, right? Juice the first lemon. Bust it wide open. Put it back in upside down and rejuice it. You want to get all of that delicious lemon out. And again, we're doing 1 full lemon per cup. This is just me. I love a super sour, super sweet lemonade. This is what it looks like with the lemon juice in there. You can see the little level of lavender at the bottom, lemons up to here, ice is up to here. Then, this is easy. Final step. Seltzer water. Holy shit! Seltzer water. Bring it right up to the top. Bring it right. Hold on, I'm losing my fucking mind. You bring it right up to the top. Stir the lavender in so you get that nice, cute little purple everywhere. I did get a seed. How unfortunate. So you get this like lovely light purple color to your lemonade. Oh my god, I'm a freak. Don't. Oh my god, it's fucking delicious. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. If you didn't enjoy yourselves, I hope you learned something. If you didn't learn something and you didn't enjoy yourselves, I hope you go fuck yourselves because I tried my best. And this shit is not easy. I will see you all later.